What's the total weight loss currently?
220 pounds.
Wow.
I went to the doctor and got on the scale, and it just zeroed out. I was over 500 pounds. It would take me like an hour just to walk a mile. 55 pounds lost. 28-day span. Followed by 3 weeks of water fasting, lost another 49 pounds.
Woo!
Man, there's something about that fruit fast, and I was like, this is amazing. I can eat fruit every day and still lose weight. This is my all-time low weight, 239.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching Healthy Alternative. Today, we've got a very special guest. I want to say the champ is here because this young man, I've been waiting to interview him for at least a year. So today, I am very pleased to present Anthony Grimes. Thanks for joining me, brother.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I remember I saw because you'll do like some little updates and things on your journey, and I saw something. Maybe you had lost 100 pounds. Maybe you remember. I don't remember where you were at, but I was just like, "Yo, this man he's really grinding. Like he's hustling. He's making progress." And I'm like, I want him to come and do the interview, and you was like, "Nah, Chris, pump your brakes. I'm not ready yet." So
Yeah.
it's exciting to hear from you. The timing is great because we've got our R72 challenge coming up. So, and I know you've, if I'm not mistaken, you've been a part of at least our 21 day, but you've been in the R72 as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Cool. So we are going to get into your journey. Um, as always, I always like to give people a little taste of what they're going to kind of benefit from watching this video. So if you just want to briefly outline some of the big highlights of your wellness journey, what are some of the things that you have accomplished up until this point that you think are going to be beneficial for other people to hear?
Definitely the weight loss, of course. I mean, I know that's a big thing for fasting. There's so much more to it, but of course, the weight loss, spiritual, just becoming a better version of myself. Being able to unteach what we've been taught and look at things in a different point of view, so to speak,
Mhm.
and just overall health. Getting rid of a lot of medicines that I was prescribed to, a lot of physical ailments I was going through. Like I said, just overall a better state of being.
That's important, man. That balance, that holistic process, the spiritual aspect was huge for me as well. Obviously, we're going to dive deeper into everything. What's the total weight loss currently?
When I started AHA August 24th, 2021, I weighed in at 467. And today I weighed in at 245. So
Mm,
it's about 220 pounds.
Gotta get them pounds right.
Mm-hmm.
220 pounds. Yeah, man. Congratulations. See, this is why I was excited to get you on because we don't get to hear that very often. And I know you're still on your journey. I know you still have more things you want to do, but for someone to lose 220 pounds is incredible. People got to hear this because you are at a place that most people don't get to. Most people never have 200 plus pounds to lose. So for people to be able to see where you are, and you still have more improvement things you want to do, but just where you are now, you've already done more than what most people will ever have to do. So thanks for joining me. And I was telling you before we were talking a little earlier. I like the fro. I like the beard, man. What do you got going on there? Because when I very first saw you, you didn't have a fro and the hair like that.
Right. I think even my picture on the Mighty Networks group, I got the low haircut. So, yeah, I always had the low haircut, the waves. At one time, I did grow out and get braids. But something just came over me. During this fasting, when you're not eating and doing stuff, you have a lot of time. to develop hobbies, start reading. So, I mean, I probably have read more during this, 3 period span of fasting, probably since college. So I was reading about how, they will cut your hair, or Indians when they scalp their prisoners, things like that, and how they use it against you to kind of keep you docile, or keep you at a certain state of mind.
Hmm.
So I kind of knew, look back on our ancestries, lots of them from afros to braids to dreadlocks. It's got to be something in it. And, I was watching something on YouTube where it says your hair acts like an antenna. So even when you're out in the sun, it allows you to draw in that vitamin D and just your environment. So I started growing it out. It's my fasting fro. It's what I call.
Yeah. Energy for so the coils help to bring energy in. They help to expand energy. They also trap energy. So there's energy that is trapped in your hair. Experiences, emotions. The hair is very interesting. It is an extension of the nervous system, and we know very little about the hair on purpose. And you make a good point with the scalping. You know, cutting people, the Indians' hair off and stuff. The U.S. government during maybe like World War I or Vietnam, one of those old wars, they were recruiting Native Americans, and they were impressed by the natives' ability to sense it was their sensory perception. They could sense the enemy before the enemy got within a certain range of them. They had expert tracking ability. Like, it was great for guerrilla warfare and things of that nature. But what they found was, when they took the Indians through the process, the enlistment process, and they put them in the field for real, they didn't have that ability. Like, they lost that ability. And what they narrowed it down to was the hair.
Okay.
So they ended up creating a special battalion or platoon or whatever you call it, where the natives that were recruited were allowed to keep their hair. So I think part of the reason why we were talking like about Genghis Khan, when people would conquer other people, they cut their hair. It keeps them docile. It keeps them easier to manage. They lose that extra sensory perception, and it makes you more malleable mentally. And this is why when you're a military person, you're a police officer, if you work in corporate America, every aspect of the traditional world, especially in America, encourages you to cut your hair because they want you to be malleable. So uh, I find it interesting how you grew your hair through your wellness journey. I grew my hair through my wellness journey. My brother, my friends, our coaches, like, we all are going through the same process and having similar outcomes. It's interesting.
Yep, I remember seeing some of your older videos, of course, doing fast, and I deep dive into those AHA videos, all the testimonies. I believe Steven, too, he had a low haircut. I know you did for sure. And I think Mel, he keeps his hair low anyway.
He actually did grow it out, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, he just recently cut it back down. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, man, we are about to get into this. So let's kind of rewind a little bit. Let's go back to like the beginning of your journey. Not It don't necessarily got to be the beginning of the AHA journey, but like, I like to look at people's history and find out what was your top weight, what was the highest weight that you ever were, and then what were some of the things you were doing, or what are some of the things you've done to kind of get your weight down in the past.
My highest weight, I believe it was in 2018. I went to the doctor and got on the scale, and it just zeroed out. It was a
Mm,
500-pound scale, so I was over 500 pounds. I
yeah.
don't know the exact weight, but I would assume at least 520.
Yeah.
So I kind of used
Wow.
that as my mile marker, 520. Yeah, and back then I knew nothing about fasting. I mean, I kind of was starting to hear the buzz about, well, I take that back. I did kind of know about intermittent fasting, knew about that. And besides growing up in the church, I knew about, spiritual fasting.
Hmm.
Probably like 1 week, maybe a couple times a year, the church would do a fast. But at that time, that was mainly for the adults. I was like a teenager in church, so my mom might be like, "No TV until this time. That's what you're gonna fast from, or no video games." So wasn't really too much of a nutritional fast, so to speak. But yeah, 520 pounds. I was able to get down to 429 just by doing the regular, cut your food, watch what you eat. For me, I kind of thought all the time like carbs. You always hear about carbs, so let me just stop eating carbs. I was big on cereal, sandwiches. I was like, let me just cut the carbs out. So cut the carbs, got on the treadmill like an hour every day. I invested into I don't know if you ever been to Planet Fitness. They have this certain treadmill that's for heavier people, things like that. So I invested in and used one of those and just would get on it an hour, at least an hour every day. And,
Wow.
being 520 pounds, you can't really walk that fast, You see everybody else around you doing 3 miles per hour, but I just did my best. It would take me like an hour just to walk a mile
Mm.
and a half. So I was able to get down to 429. At that time, the doctor had me coming every 6 months to see him,
Okay.
maybe every 3 months. Yeah, I think every 3 months. So, went in there 520, came back the next 3 months, 479. He said,
Mm.
okay, keep doing what you're doing. As long as you keep your part, you losing weight, I'll hold off from putting you on these medicines.
Mm.
Because he wanted to put me on a whole cocktail of medicines. He had me on two blood pressure medicines. He wanted to add something for cholesterol and some other stuff, metformin, and I was just like, no, let's try it. Let me try to lose this first before we do all that.
Yeah.
So the next 3 months went from 479 to 429. He said, okay, you're doing outstanding. Keep going. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So then COVID hits. Couldn't go to the doctor's office. Probably didn't go to the doctor for like a year. I did, they would do the Zoom meeting, so to speak. And over that year, I went from 429 back to the 467.
Mm.
And when I went to go see him, he was like, what happened? He was like, I don't think you understand. At your state, you like a ticking time bomb. He said, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth.
Mm.
You want to be there for your children. You want to be there for your wife. You want to be there for your family. You need to get this weight off of you. So, at that time, I'm just like, I've tried everything, you know, and I was watching your videos and stuff, and I was like, man, that is amazing what these people are doing. But I'm just in the back of my head, I'm like, man, going 21 days without eating, that seems dangerous. But something about those videos just kind of stuck out with me, and I was like, I'm in a drastic time. I feel I need a drastic state of measure, you know. So I was like, I'm going to join one of those challenges. And it just timing. My wife, she started doing these traveling assignments where she would go to California for 90 days and then come back. And then she probably go twice a year. So at that time, I was like, okay, nobody in the house, you know, wife's gone, kids gone. It's just you versus you, you
Mm.
know. If you don't go to the grocery store and bring the snacks in the house, if you don't order the food on DoorDash and things like that, it won't be in here. There's no excuse. It's just mano y mano.
Mm.
Look yourself in the mirror. Let's get it done. So that was the day we started, August 24th. It was the introduction day.
Mm, you remember the date?
Oh yeah, I got it. Got everything written down. It's not an AHA journal, but it's a little journal I had from college, and I got all my numbers in there. I'm a numbers guy.
Hey, that's what's up. It don't got to be the AHA journal. Like I tell you guys in the challenges, I'm like, hey, I just need you to get a journal. I need you to write this down somewhere, right? Because it's
Right.
even if you're not, I'm a numbers guy too. So I guess maybe it's easy for us to understand, but like, even if you're not a numbers person, it's so important to document and be able to see progress and understand what you're doing and why. Those journals are great tools. So before we get into the 21 day, I just want to, first of all, I want to say, man, losing 100 pounds the traditional way, that is insane, right? Like people think the fasting thing is extreme and everything, but like the traditional diet exercise, in my opinion, is one of the hardest ways to lose weight. And so I always have a lot of admiration for people that were able to do that. So let me say that. But I did want to see if we could go back even further, and because like getting to 500 plus pounds, that's not an easy thing to do. Even if you deal with depression, you deal with overeating, you have a poor diet. Um, it's still a very small portion of people to get there. So can you maybe describe for us, how do you think you got to that size in the first place?
Definitely, bad diet, lack of exercise, lack of just movement. During my childhood, I was probably like a pretty average kid, just like a little chubby, what you would say. But as a child, as our childhood, I remember being outside, man, from morning till the street lights come on. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we were active, riding bikes, playing tag, just running, coming in the house, dripping, sweating. We were active. So I think that probably helped keep you at a reasonable, oh, okay, kind of override your diet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, living inner city candy stores and, your mom on a fixed budget. So you're not eating tons of fruit and vegetables, hamburger helper meals and fried chicken, stuff like that. So definitely by the time I got to high school, yeah, I was that big kid of the class. But I think probably because of my height, I mean, I'm
Mm.
not super tall, I'm 6 foot, but I think I probably carried it different. You know,
Yeah.
even my doctor says you have a lot of muscle mass. Like when I look at my smartwatch and I do the composition, like it says I should have like 60 or 70 pounds muscle mass. I have 90, you know.
Oh wow. Okay.
So he was like, for some reason, you carry it well, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. Somebody may look at you and, oh, he weighs this much, but no, really, you weigh that much.
Mm.
So I think that was kind of the part of it. But definitely as I got into young adult, moved out the house, living on your own, that's when it really went south. I was working a warehouse job and I mean, I would eat fast food. Never really was a breakfast person, but if I did eat it, it was cereal, eggs, bacon, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely at work, I would eat fast food for lunch. I would eat fast food for dinner, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I know at that time I was just racking on calories, hanging out with my friends, drinking on the weekend, clubbing. So I mean, yeah, I I was in bad shape.
Mm.
That's how I got there.
Okay. So it's an interesting journey, because I see how easy it is to fall into that. And this is why I wanted to kind of highlight this, because you know it's obesity in America especially is becoming so large, no pun intended. It's just like it used to be just a very small subset of people. It was so rare. And now it's becoming more common to the point where it is you have more people who are overweight than people that are of a average weight, right? And the in those categories of overweight people, then you have a large subset of people who are obese, and that morbid obesity is where you're starting to see the mortality. And so I think a lot of people can look at, like, depending on your perspective and stuff, you could look at somebody who's obese and be like, dang, there must be something unique going on there. But I think what you just highlighted was it could literally just be poor habits sustained over a long duration of time. If we're doing like fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's not that hard to get there.
Right.
Because the fast food is like, you remember back when McDonald's, they used to make their French fries, when their French fries first kind of like was popular. I think they were using like fish grease or something. They were using like an animal based grease, like almost like how we would
Like
cook with lard and stuff, right?
yeah.
And then they
Uh-huh.
changed the fries. You know, I remember that day. I remember when they changed the fries. I was like, "What's wrong with McDonald's fries?" But we cook with synthetic material now more than we cook with like animal products and stuff like that. So the fast food's not the same that it used to be.
Right.
So I think this is a good warning for people that, like, you could get to it with, you don't have to necessarily have like some hereditary disease or, in a major life incident happen. It can come from just not focusing on your health, limiting your activity, and just kind of the day and day of life. Um, so let's fast forward. All right. So you're at a place now, you're going to the doctor. He's like, look, man, your life's on the line. You got to make a change. So you start working towards that. And then you end up joining our 21-day challenge. Okay. So let's kind of start from there. What was that experience like for you? The 21-day challenge. I mean, it's a big leap.
Uh, One thing I need to add on that about how did you get to the 520?
Hmm.
Um, I did have a slip and fall when I was working at the warehouse. The outside parking lot was a sheet of ice. I believe that was in 2005. I had that slip and fall, and I developed lymphedema in my right
Oh.
leg. And at that time, oh, you fractured your leg. Stay off your leg for like a week or two, you'll be fine.
Hmm.
No, like a couple years later, 2008, I went to see like a general practitioner, and he was like, "No, you don't have cellulitis. You have full blown lymphedema. Your
Mm.
lymphatic system is compromised. That's why your lower leg is doing all this swelling."
Mm.
And not treating that and take care of it right, I had several rounds of cellulitis, and at one point it just spiraled totally out of control. Like
Mm.
your lymph nodes on the back of your legs, mine was extremely swollen. They were like the size of a small melon.
Mm.
So could
Wow.
you just imagine carrying that around on both legs every day?
Mm.
And that's kind of when the little depression kind of set in. And I
Mm.
mean, yeah, that experience there too, that would help get to that 520 most definitely.
For
Totally
sure.
that out. Yeah,
So that's like almost like a domino effect.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. Now to the AHA fast, let me pull out my trusty book here. Got
All
some
right.
numbers. So let's see, August 24th, that was the introduction day. So we started on August 25th, did the first prep week. During my prep week, I lost 14 pounds.
Wow.
So after that, that takes us into the official water fasting, September 1st to September 21st. That experience, it was very humbling. And like I said, I was at home alone, so I had cleared out the refrigerator, cleared out the cabinets, I literally had nothing in that house but water. And, it was in plastic bottles, but I mean, this was my first go around, so I'm doing my best. It was all distilled waters. I had so many gallons of it. Just,
Mm-hmm.
man, I went to like 3 or 4 stores and just grabbed gallons and gallons of it.
Yeah.
So, nothing in the house. I mean, absolutely nothing. Not a canned good, not a bag of chips, nothing. So, yeah, knocked that out. So went from 465 to 410,
Mm.
55 pounds lost,
Wow.
28-day span.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I
That,
know that was a lot of inflammation. That was a lot of that lymphatic fluid that was built up.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, and man, just talk about a sense of when you say that Goldilocks zone when you're fasting after
Mm-hmm.
that first 5 days, man, I was on a whole nother level. I was
Mm.
like, man, I haven't experienced anything like this.
That's beautiful, man. The Goldilocks zone, for those who don't know, is basically a sense of euphoria almost. At least that's how I experienced it. It was you become very high vibrational. Your thoughts, your outlook. It's almost like you take off a pair of sunglasses and you can see the sun and the stars and the moon and the clouds and the trees. You can see the vibrancy of nature for the first time. And I think that's a very important experience to have in a young faster because it gives you an opportunity to be like, okay, not eating isn't what I thought it was. Because it's like, how can I feel this good and I'm not eating? I ain't been eating for 5 days, 7 days, whatever the case is. Um, so that was an incredible experience. Do you feel as though like having that type of experience on the front end was like a big motivator for you to like continue going? Because I mean, losing you said 50, did you say 55 pounds?
55 went from 460, well, 467 to 410. So 57 pounds technically. Yeah.
Was that like a huge motivator? Because like you've been on this journey for a nice bit of time, so you're gonna have ups and downs, and I'm sure we'll get into more of that. But was that something that kind of like? Because I know for me, it helps when I have a goal in mind and I do really well at the very beginning. It kind of helps create momentum for me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely was a goal. I mean, just seeing that, and like I said, experiencing the lymphedema, I mean, that was almost to a point where I almost felt immobile, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, my legs were heavy. I mean, I even had one of my coworkers. They were kind of whispering at one point in time, elephantitis or what's wrong with his legs. So I mean, yeah, it was just like, and during that first round of fasting, that fluid release was just so great. I was just
Mm.
like, man, I'm definitely have tapped into something here. So I was motivated. I couldn't wait till the next one.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't a month in between it. At that time, you guys were doing them every other month.
Right.
So that time in between, I did my refeed and, I did it through the book, for the first week as you guys have designed and gained back probably maybe 4 or 5 pounds. But then after that, would go grocery shopping and, you read the labels. Oh, this is healthy. This is healthy. So I
Hmm.
was eating that type of healthy food.
Right.
Not really, what you can go outside and pick off of a tree, not the real healthy food.
Right.
But, it was still packaged stuff, a lot of vegan, meatless options, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And if I knew what I knew now, I definitely wouldn't have refed like that. But it's part of the process. So in between that month, I went from 410 to 434. So I gained back 24 pounds.
Okay.
A lot of people, that would just be a death blow. They
Mm.
probably would be like, I just gained back half of what I lost, you know. But I knew it was something with the fasting. I knew I was onto something. So, like I said, I was excited for that next one to start, which was October 24th.
Okay.
So it didn't stop me. I still wanted to keep going.
Which challenge was the next challenge? Did we do another 21 day or was that a
It
R72?
seems like back then you guys were only doing 21 days.
Okay. Yeah, that was at the very beginning. Gotcha.
So August 24th to November the 18th. Did the same prep week, followed by 3 weeks of water fasting. Lost another 49 pounds. So went from 434 to 385.
Mm. What did that feel like? Do you remember what did that feel like? Because previously we're talking you were in the fives, and I'm sure you were in the fives for a while, and it probably felt like a very big jump to get to those threes again. What did that feel like getting into them threes?
And just to see that number three on the scale, and I knew it's been a long time since you've been 300 anything.
Mm,
And at that time, of course, the clothes was just fitting totally different, you know, from the pants to the shirts. Like, man, I got to go shopping. I can't fit anything. I mean, even oddly, my shoe size was different. I still don't understand that. I was
yeah.
wearing a size 14 shoe. Now I'm 13, 12 and a half. I still don't get that, but yeah. So, and it's like you don't want to buy a full blown wardrobe because you're still losing. So I just
Right.
bought a few little pieces here and there just to kind of hold me over. But yeah, it felt great. And, every time I would do one of these challenges, I would, oh, I'm going to reward myself with this. So, at that one, once I got under the threes, I got myself a new smartphone and a smartwatch. Kind of treated myself to something.
Hmm.
So, yep, that definitely was motivation. I mean, just hitting those threes. And I kind of knew in my mind, I was like, well, the next step, we're going to get into these twos, you know?
Right. Now that getting to them twos, that was a little bit more challenging for you. I'm assuming that was a little bit more challenging than going from the fives to the threes. Would that be accurate?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I definitely could see, like my first fast minus 55, second fast minus 49. So the third one you guys did was at the top of the year, January 1st, 2022.
Hmm.
I did that one January the 1st to January 29th. Uh, oh, need to touch on this. After getting down to 385, still was not refeeding right. Still was
Mm.
buying the foods in the grocery store that you think are healthy. They're labeled healthy, but like you just said, there's something with these packaged processed goods, from the enriched flour to the synthetic vitamins to all of that stuff. There's something with that definitely
Hmm.
causes weight gain. And I mean, like I said, I'm a numbers person. I know it's over 3,000 calories for you to actually gain a pound of fat or weight. So I knew I wasn't eating calories like that. I know for sure. It was the food.
Mm.
I went from 385, gained 23 pounds back
Okay.
from November the 18th to January the 1st. So January the 1st came in at that challenge at 408. And I was able to lose, 42 pounds, got down to 366.
Mm.
So going through that up and down, I mean, yeah, I didn't let it slow me up, but I wanted it to stop. I was like, something's got to give here. I keep gaining this 20 plus pounds in between these fasts. I was like, man, if I was only gaining back half of that or I think I heard you or Steven say you should naturally gain back maybe 10% or something. Maybe I read that 10 or 15% of what you lost, it's what you could gain back. And I just knew I was gaining back a lot more. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, that's the next thing. I have to find a stop to that.
Mm. It kind of feels like a yo-yo, especially
Yeah.
after a while. I mean, you're coming up on almost a year now, of doing this, and I'm sure it's like it's a mind game because like if you think about when you started fasting, you've made a tremendous amount of progress, but the yo-yoing it starts to get to you, and
Yes.
this is why I think I love the fact that you tracked your numbers so closely, though, because you can see exactly what's going on. And when you look at your numbers, at least you can see, well, I did lose. I mean, I'm down 100 plus pounds for sure. Even with that 20-pound regain, you still are down. You're not 520 no more. So
Right.
I think it's important for people to have that tool available. But at the end of the day, this is a common thing. Now, what I will say, and this is more for the people that have been watching, because I think that you, through your journey, I think you really learned this. But especially in the early stages, when you're just learning, your focus is the weight loss. You're not really focused on the other part of it, like where you're actually learning and adjusting, like your habits, and you're learning where to shop, what to eat, what's affecting you, like this and that. Like it is a process, and unfortunately, I find that people do have to go through this process. It's hard to skip this process for sustainability purposes. Because once you get to a goal weight, or once you get to a certain weight, let's say 250, you got to have the tools. You have to have developed the tools to sustain that. And that's the part. Like it's you saying, okay, I did this fast. I gained 20 pounds after the fast. Why did I gain the 20? And then you tweaking and tweaking and tweaking so that when you do get to that place, whatever that place is, that weight, you're able to maintain because you've learned how to maintain.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely right. But, I kind of knew like there's something to this fasting, just keep on going. I just felt like the Lord didn't bring me along this far to stop or give up. And like you said, I always look back at that heaviest number, 520. Now
Mm,
look where you at. And look at the short amount of time, you
right.
know, August to January, less than
Crazy.
6 months, you know. And
Crazy.
your doctor, oh, you should lose 2 to 3 pounds a week, and that's like I heard him saying that and I just laugh at it. I'm just like, man, that's a joke. 2 to 3 pounds, I lose that in a day, you
Right.
know. So
Well, let me ask you that because you mentioned your doctor. I'm curious at this point in the journey, 6 months or so in, what is your family, what's your wife think of it? What does your doctor think of it?
my wife, she was doing some traveling. So when she came back home, I think she ended up doing a double assignment.
Okay.
So when she left in August and then she came back in April, I was into the threes.
Mm.
So to see me 100 pounds down, yeah, my mouth hit the floor. And she is a registered nurse. So when I told her what I was doing. I didn't hide it or anything like that. I mean, 100 pounds down, can't hide that. But she wasn't with it, you know.
Mm.
She's oh, make sure you take your electrolytes and oh, you may start feeling dizzy and I'm just like, oh man, here comes the negativity, you
Yeah.
know. And, at one time I wanted to start a Facebook page and document this, but I was just like, man, I know those comments can be brutal. And
Mm-hmm.
I know I at that time, no, I didn't want to deal with any negativity.
Gotcha.
So I was just like, let me just keep this my personal journey and let me keep doing what I'm doing. But
That
yeah,
makes
she came home. I think I had kind of stopped going to the doctor because I didn't want to hear, oh, you're hurting yourself or you're harming yourself. And, I just didn't want to be bombarded by that. So I said, let me just embrace myself, embrace this knowledge, and I'm a very disciplined person. So I said, let me just do what I do, trust the process.
Okay, so now you're I guess you're heading into your next fast.
Yep, February the 6th. This was not an official AHA. This one only happened 2 weeks after I ended the official AHA one. And the reason why I jumped on that one, because I saw the weight creeping up.
Mm.
Got on the scale one day and it was 391 pounds. So I said, oh man, no, you got to do something now.
Yeah.
So I remember Steven, I think he was talking about he lost a lot of his weight doing the 6-1. So I started doing that. I did that for a whole month, 21 days. I did that for 3 weeks.
Mm.
So started that at 391, lost 38 pounds. So they got me down to 353.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, 353. I said, man, 200 pounds to be in the twos. I'm only a little bit over 50 pounds away. I said, I can see the light now.
Right.
After that one, I said, man, you got to jump right back into this. You got to, take a week off, 2 weeks off, refeed, wherever you land at, just keep going.
Mm.
So I did a refeed, ended up gaining 14 pounds back. A lot better than the 24 pounds I was gaining, but gained that back. I just knew in the back of my head, I was like, man, we still got to tighten this down.
Mm.
I knew like I'm not eating 3,500 calories, so I'm not gaining back all fat,
Right.
It's inflammation, it's water weight, it's your body responding to the toxicity of the food. You got to clean that up. But I said, man, I'm going to do a 90-day 5-2.
Wow.
I did that from March the 6th to June the 4th. So when I started that, it was at 367. And I was only able to do that for 7 weeks because I caught COVID.
Mm.
And oh man, I felt like that almost took me out of here.
Dang.
Man, that was a rough 4 or 5 weeks, And it seemed like I had, I guess what they would call long COVID. I had some after. It's like I was still trying to do the treadmill, but I couldn't catch my breath. It's
Right.
like my breathing wasn't right. So I couldn't do that 90 days. But of course, having COVID, I didn't have much of an appetite anyway. But during that 7 weeks that I did do it, I lost 37 pounds and got down to 330. So I was still looking like, okay, 30 more pounds, you into the twos.
Right.
Keep going. So June the 6th, I was feeling better from the COVID and everything. I say from that COVID, those long effects, it was a good 5 or 6 weeks I went through that.
Okay.
So the day I started feeling better, felt like, okay, I can walk on the treadmill, I'm breathing right. Just, my mind felt better too. Like with that COVID, seemed like I had brain fog. Like, man, I can't describe it. It just, something definitely just was not right,
Mm.
But I say the first beginning of June, according to this, June the 6th, I wanted to go into my fasting anniversary. August 27th was the end of that week. So I just did a mixed fast. Whenever I felt like fasting, I fasted. If it was 2 days in a row, then eat. Then fast 3 days in a row, then eat. It was no Pacific 5-2 or rolling 72. It was just like fast when you feel.
It's like a freestyle fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did that. Started at 354. So during that COVID, I did have some weight gain come back. That
Hmm.
magical number 24. Another
Yeah.
24 pounds came back. So from June the 6th, started 354. August 27th, 309.
Woo.
My 2 year goal, I did want to be under 300. So I felt like, oh, you missed it by 10 pounds. But still, I won't take away from, the progress that I made. So
Yes.
yeah, I was stoked.
You could taste that 200, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see it. Lightning focused on it. I did decide to take a break from the end of August. Gave myself a good 1 month break.
Mm.
So September 25th, hop back on the train. Now, this is where it gets good now.
Okay.
Going from August the 27th to September 25th, I only gained back 16 pounds.
Mm.
So took some self time to self reflect. I said, man, that was a whole month.
Hmm.
Normally, a month off, you gain 20 plus pounds. Let's look. I was still keeping my diary. I said, let's look back and see what you was doing.
Right.
Started incorporating a lot of fruit. Started walking on the treadmill, doing 2 a days on the treadmill for an hour.
Mm.
So I said, okay, get your physical activity up. And I knew it was the fruits, but I didn't know the power of fruit yet.
Right.
So September 25th to August 22nd, I went from 325 to 295.
Woo.
So finally got into those twos.
Yeah.
And then my gallbladder. Uh, ever since 2017, I had some gallbladder issues. But at that time, because of my weight, they wouldn't do surgery on me. So my gallbladder, it flared up again. We're in 2022. So,
Mm.
and this time it was a bad flare up. I went to the ER. Uh, I could have sworn they said they were taking it all out, but they only did a partial, which
Okay.
I never heard of. And even my wife, being the nurse, was like, I thought they were taking the whole thing out too. But they just did a partial. So I was down and out some weeks for that. I mean, they actually had to cut me open. I still
Mm.
have the scar from it. So yeah, after that, I didn't do any fasting until January the 2nd. And I believe this was an official AHA challenge.
Okay.
Not sure which one. Might have been like a rolling 72.
Hmm.
So got back on that. Started that at 308. So
Wow.
yeah, and definitely noticed something in there. I said, man, you was off from October 23rd till January the 2nd. That's over 2 months. And you
Mm.
only gained back uh, 13 pounds.
Right.
And of course, being in the hospital, and it's weird when you go to the hospital, they force you to fast. Oh, no
Oh.
liquid, no food for this guy for 2 days. So always I got to thinking about that. Why do they make you fast, but they don't approve of you fasting?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And when I was in the hospital, that doctor, he was like, I want to hear about this weight journey. He was
Mm.
like, I can tell, you got a little loose skin and stuff like that. So he was like, what's going on here? He was like, I'm looking at your records. You were too heavy to do a surgery at one time. It was like, you got to fill me in on this. So I just kind of told him, I was intermittent fasting. I didn't go into too much detail about it, but I told him the information is out there on YouTube if you want to know about it. I didn't want to give your name out or anything like that, but I was like, just look up long term fasting. And that's basically what I was doing, little bouts of it.
Mm.
And he was floored. He was like, no, whatever you doing, keep doing it. And he was like I said, I'm going to go research this. I want to know about this because he was like, man, your blood work. He was like, you got the blood work of a 20-year-old.
Wow.
And like I said, going from being heard that to being on 5 different medicines at one time,
Right.
yeah, I knew I was definitely going in the right direction. So, like I said, January the 2nd, I believe now we're in 2023 now. So, January the 2nd, we started that fast. Started at 308, went down to 267. So, that was real good.
Yeah.
I kept doing, says here that I went to April the 29th. So, I must have kept fasting past whatever type fast you guys were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I probably was doing my mixed fast. There's 2 days here, eat for a day or two, start fasting again.
Okay.
So now we're at 267. And I'm like, okay. When I started this journey, I was thinking 225 or something like that. So I was like, all right, we almost there,
Mm-hmm.
And then you're getting all these compliments, you kind of get the big head, So you start feeling yourself, and oh man, that's why I say compliments is like a two-edged sword,
Wow.
And if you let it knock you off your rocker, you can. But I didn't. I just knew like, no, I'm not where I need to be. Not quite yet. I gotta keep going.
Mm.
So from let's see, April, I didn't really tap into another fast until August the 8th. I
Okay.
think over that time, the spring into the summer, I started my garden and stuff. I started reading about fruit, started hearing about all these. I'm sure you saw on YouTube, that was the summer of the watermelon fast.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's eating all this watermelon for 90 days and 100 days. And I was like, man, I want to try that. And at the time, I was growing a garden, and just to eat a bell pepper that you just pick right off the vine, I was
Yeah.
like, man, it tastes great.
Yeah.
So I started getting into the fruit. So August the 8th, I said, man, I want to do a 90-day fruit fast.
Okay.
But I want to do it a 5-2 style. So 5 days out the week, nothing but fruit. 2 days, I want to do a refeed, but keep it plant-based. Keep it almost raw. On those refeed days, I did allow myself to have quinoa, salmon here and there, but mainly salads, fruit, smoothie.
Okay.
So I did that for a whole 90 days, 13 weeks. And man, talk about energy through the roof. Talk about just feeling on point. Just
Yeah.
when people say they feel like they're 20 again, yeah, I really did.
That's nice.
So I just, I'm buying all this fruit. And my wife, she's just like, man, you really getting into this. And, I wanted to crack down and invest in me a Nama J2 so I could start juicing. But I didn't quite bite the bullet yet. I will soon, though. But, man, there's something about that fruit fast. And I was like, this is amazing. I can eat fruit every day and still lose weight.
Yeah.
August the 8th, I started that fast. I was at 276. And when I ended it, it was a couple days before Thanksgiving, November the 20th. This is my all-time low weight, 239.
Wow.
And, a couple days later was Thanksgiving. I did good. I think I did great. I ate a salad for Thanksgiving dinner. I think I did allow myself to have, I said, you're going to eat, I will allow you to eat one thing. And I actually had a 1 cup measuring cup. I said, you fill that up with the one thing you pick, that's it.
Wow.
I think I chose macaroni and cheese. I had that one dry measuring cup. You know, that's
Uh-huh.
not very big, like the palm size of your palm of your hand.
Yeah.
I had that along with this huge salad that I made, and that was it.
Man, that's
Yep.
discipline right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
239. That was the all-time low. Now I did good on Thanksgiving, but Christmas, New Year's, here we go again. Fell off the
Yeah.
wagon. Oh man. Let's see. You guys started another fast April the 1st. That was just this blitz.
The
So I
fasting,
jumped back
5-2
in.
fasting
Yeah.
blitz.
I jumped back in on that fast and blitz. Got on that scale. I was 270 pounds. So I had gained 30 pounds and I was like, man, that's the worst I've ever done, you know?
Mm,
But I knew, my wife was home, not to play the blame game, but you date nights, you go out with your wife, oh, let's stop at Chick-fil-A or,
yeah.
okay. Now it's Saturday. I ate pretty decent during the week. Yeah, I eat that with you and oh, I got some Girl Scout cookies. Oh, let me
Mm,
eat some of no, no.
yeah.
Terrible, terrible decisions. But
Yeah.
I knew it in me. I knew I had the power. I'm like, I've done 21-day fast back to back to back. I'll get over this. So started that blitz. I think that was only 2 weeks.
It was
So
three total. Three total
okay,
weeks.
yeah, because I didn't do the prep week. I just jumped into it.
Okay.
I did one day of water fasting, made an adjustment. I said I'm gonna just do 5-2 fruit. I'm gonna do fruit for 5 days and raw for 2 days. So I did that for the 3 weeks. I started getting into those pet calls with Matt
Yeah.
Griffin,
Hmm.
professor. Started getting into those, and a lot of people was like, "Man, let's create something that we can do until the next AHA fast, so we don't gain back the weight and stuff." So I just said, "Man, I'm gonna just keep 5-2." So I've been doing that until last week.
Okay.
So here we go now, 245.
245. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So not quite back down to the 239, but I know if I just did a couple days hardcore water fast, I'd be there.
You be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also we got the R72 that's about to start basically Sunday. Yeah, the
Yep.
26th. So you're about to like going into June, you're gonna hit a new all-time low
Yes, sir.
for
Yep.
sure.
Yep. And
Oh man,
hopefully by August 24th of this year, which will mark 3 years. Like I said, I wanted to hit that under 200, but now it's like I don't know how that 200 would look. So now I think it's more of a feel.
right.
I'll know my goal weight by how I feel. I don't think the number on the scale will absolutely be it.
Mm-hmm.
But by August, I'll reach under 200. That'll be great. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm excited to see where it lands.
For sure. Wow, man, what a journey. What a journey. And you've been pretty close to the community, so I know you know Steven's story. He had some crazy up and downs. Your up and downs were way more stable than his because he lost 100 pounds and then gained like 40 pounds, and then and then he went to jail and of course got back up to the threes, and so you've had a pretty consistent downward trend, even in spite of like COVID and the gallbladder surgery and things of that nature. So I personally think that you're doing extremely well. And what you have accomplished in this period of time is incredible. Not specifically because of the weight, but how you did it. Because the how you lose the weight matters just as much as losing the weight, in my opinion. Also the mindset of wanting to really dial in your eating habits and just do better, develop better habits, and the acknowledgement of when you get with the wife, you guys are eating out, you're like all of that, the combination of the journey, it all matters, and I think it helps to bolster your overall progress and what you're going to be able to do whenever you get to that place where you feel comfortable, that maintenance, because everything you've learned along the way, you understand your body. Would it be an accurate statement to say that you understand your body better now than you've ever understood it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. If I do have a day where I indulge and don't eat up to par, yeah, I definitely feel it from the bloating to the inflammation. Like I just know it.
Mm,
And then, like I say, I've been so tapped in with this fruit. I really think probably June 1st, I'll probably go ahead and do me a 90-day fruit and carry me on to my fasting anniversary. You know,
right.
I really think I might try to knock that out, and not the 5-2 this time. I think I may just want to do all
Just
fruit for 90
straight.
days just to ride this thing on out. But, that's the good thing with fasting. You can make adjustments here and there as you go. But yeah, definitely, I think I'm more in tune with my body. Like I said, when I'm on that fruit, just digestive system. Oh my, there's so much better,
Yeah.
and just the way you feel, the energy is second to none. It's not like drinking a cup of coffee or drinking an energy drink. No, it's real, pure energy.
Right.
So,
Man, this has been, I did not expect this type of detail. Like, I am so glad. I am so grateful that you were so detail oriented throughout this journey, because like this type of data helps when we put it against other people's experience, and how much weight are they gaining, and all of this stuff, man. This is the stuff that helps us, because if you notice, like in other fasting communities, they don't give specific numbers the way that we do. Like I did a live stream maybe 2 nights ago, and someone was like, well, how much weight are you looking to lose if we were to join the R72? And I'm like, 25 to 32 pounds. Well, where do I get that number from? It's y'all. It's y'all's experience. Y'all come through with these numbers, and I'm able to put everybody's numbers together and create a range. And of course, it's going to results may vary. If you only do half the challenge, you're probably not going to lose, the goal range. But you had mentioned, and one of the challenges you lost like what 13 pounds on 14 pounds on a prep week. You know,
yeah, I
and
believe that was my very first one.
that was the first one.
Yep.
And I tell people that. I'm like, look, you could lose anywhere from 5 to 12 pounds. Now you're on the high end, but that
Mhm.
makes sense based on where you started, you know?
Right.
So this has been people, I'm telling you right now, people are going to get so much from this. Just the fact that detail and the you really shared your ups and the downs, man. Like it wasn't, because sometimes people think, oh, it's just you was just moving forward the whole time. You literally had ups and downs the entire time. And what I noticed with your journey, then I want to highlight this. You stayed connected, right? No matter what you were going through, whether or not you was fasting on your own or not, like you stayed connected, because it's easy to get away from the community, people who are on the same journey as you, and you really kind of lose power because you're like by yourself now. So
Yeah.
staying connected is an important part of it, because I even asked you to become an admin on our AHA communities, because I wanted to make sure that you stayed connected. I saw what you were doing. I saw how you were posting. And I think personally that if you are struggling, not you personally, but someone listening, if you're struggling, think about how connected you are to the community, whether it's AHA community, your family, your friends, but it's got to be a community of like-minded people,
Right.
you know, because we gain power from each other.
Yeah,
So
I mean, being in that Mighty Networks, that has been such a game changer. I mean, I
mm,
know you guys have the AHA page on the Facebook, but at that time, I think kind of like a lot of trolls was coming on there and stuff, and then so many people post. I know it's hard to keep up with a lot of stuff,
right,
but here doing those challenges, I mean, for the price you guys charge for those challenges, man, just the interaction with those people in that group and the knowledge that you're gonna get, man, that group, I tell you, I've
mm,
had a lot of bad days, and going in there on that group, seeing people post what they're doing, or seeing that they having similar experiences, or even I don't get in that chat part too much, but
okay,
even going in the little chat, being able to talk to people. And now they've got these pack groups going on every day, and man, those have been. Even though really, I'll comment, I'll talk on there. I don't show my face or anything. I normally just listen a lot, but those are powerful in themselves, and just so much knowledge is just being transferred with
yes,
everybody. Man, I
yeah,
definitely say keep up the great work. Uh, like I said, I'm the one who walked these miles, so to speak, but you gave me a blueprint. It's like driving. The blueprint was the map. It'll help me avoid from getting lost and getting discouraged or crashing out, so to speak.
yeah.
So I thank you and all the coaches, Stephen, like I said, yourself, Michelle, can't think of his name now, Animated Male.
Yeah, animated mel.
You guys really got something powerful going here, you
Yeah,
know, and I
thank you.
thank you.
Listen, it is. Trust me when I say we all on the same page. We really love to serve. It is a pleasure. I really like your testimony as well as the testimony from pretty much any testimony. Really, they fuel us. Like they fuel us. We talk about y'all all the time. We talk. I mean, you guys are such a blessing to us because you guys are creating an opportunity for us to work in our passion. You know, a lot of people don't get that. So, as much as you all appreciate us, we appreciate you. I know I do because from the time I was 20 something years old, I was looking for my passion in life. Like, what am I going to do? And I knew it had to be around helping people. And by taking hold of my own health and wellness journey and really working with my brother John to start things off, and now to building this group and having these interviews and this community and these challenges, like it's just been incredible. And so when you guys come on and you do these interviews or you share, you're genuine, and I mean you put it all out there. It means more to me than you probably could ever know. Like you have no idea. When I saw your message, I was excited. I was like genuinely excited, you know. So if somebody was listening to this interview and they're on the fence about getting started, joining the community, or even getting into those challenges, because sometimes the challenges can seem intimidating to people, what would you say to them based on your experience with a healthy alternative?
I mean, just of course, I know a lot of people are nervous about stuff, but I would definitely just say this is a step in the right direction. You know how people say take that leap of faith. Just trust the process. And like Stephen has said hundreds of times, you don't have to be perfect at this, but we just want you to be consistent.
Mm,
So just come here. The community, they will not let you down. You know, hundreds of great people in the challenge, many of them doing it for the first time, just like yourself. But you got a community of people, they care about you and they got your back. So
mm.
I definitely just say take that leap of faith. You will not regret it. Like I said, you don't have to be perfect, but you will see results and you will be happy with the results. So definitely give it a try.
Beautiful. And yo, Anthony, man, I appreciate you. I know people are gonna wanna like probably reach out, ask questions. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Anthony's in AHA communities. So and he's basically in every challenge, every, you know, little everything we pretty much do. You've pretty I mean for the most part, you've been involved. So if people want to find you, would you say that's the best place to kind of get in touch?
Yeah, that's the best place to get in touch. I mean, I don't have any YouTube page or anything, but it may be in the works, you know. Then I can really get off into some deep dives and stuff like that. And because in that pack meeting, you know, I was saying something. I think I said my original number, and they was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 hold on! You gotta tell your. Why haven't you done your interview yet?"
Right.
And they really gave me that push and that nudge to do it. So to the
Shout
pack
out to the
group,
Pack Group, man.
yep.
That's what's up. Shout out to Matthew, man. And I know there's a lot of leadership. I know this is why I don't really like shouting people out, but like, you know, I've been thinking about the men lately because we don't have as many men in our group. And when you guys come, you show up, you show out, and you know, I really appreciate the leadership from the men in the group. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, yep. I was the only guy I believe in the pack meeting today, but hey, my sisters, they in there dropping some powerful knowledge and gems. One of the things they was talking about today is how you have like kids and grandchildren, and you know a lot of people do separate shopping. Oh, this food for the adults, this for the kids.
Hmm.
But why would you continue to give your kids that poison?
Right.
Why would you want to stop from taking them through everything that you've been through? So they dropped a lot of gems on that, and I definitely picked them up. So want to apply
Beautiful.
that to my household.
Beautiful. Excellent. Anthony, man, we're gonna do this again. We got to do this again because I know you're gonna have another update for us at maybe your anniversary. Maybe we'll do it for the anniversary, 3-year anniversary. Yeah, and
Sounds good.
like I said, y'all listen. So right now we've got you have an opportunity. If you've never been a part of one of our challenges, you have an opportunity to join. We are going to be starting May 26th. We're going to be doing the R72, which is a 3-day rolling fast. It's a great entry level fast, but if you're looking for really good results, it's just a really balanced challenge to start with. You guys get the coaching. You're going to get the core material that we have available. You get the PDF guides. You get the quick start guides. You get to interact with people like Anthony, which I think, me personally, I think it's the best part. I like as a coach and as a facilitator. When I look at what you guys do, like the pack group, the group of people who are in the community that are in the trenches every day, I think that is something special and unique. I can't create that. Only you guys can create that. So being able to have that interaction in our challenges and just in the AHA community is just magical in my opinion. So I'm gonna put the link in the description box and in the comment section for you guys to join the challenge. And that's all I got, man. You got any last words? This has been incredible.
Uh, I just want to tell everybody who's either thinking about this or who's currently fasting, just keep going. You know, set your goals. If you slip up, you fall down, don't worry about it. Get back on the horse. You got any questions? You know the community. You know where we're at. Tap in. And I just wish everybody much success and blessings on their journey.
That's it, y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe, like follow us, engage. Like, let's go. I'm going to be joining the R72 challenge this time. So there's a couple new products and things I want to test out. I said this is the perfect opportunity to test it with the group. If you guys join, you'll be getting a little couple exclusive videos from me just talking about what I'm experiencing. So this is going to be a special one. I hope to see you guys on the inside. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. Peace.